everybody. My name's Craig.
I'm Brian.
I'm Burke.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is Get Dunked On, the podcast.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. I'm sorry, I was playing Rocket League ranked earlier.
Okay.
and you know, pretty much I'm the most unlucky man to ever have played that game. Like, I don't think I've ever judged a ball correctly. So yeah, whether it's not lucky, not skill, whatever it is, it's been a disaster.
You were getting there, Brian. I'm watching you. You're getting better. I have faith in you. But anyways, speaking of actual good sports and maybe esports, but mainly regular sports, because right now, you know, I don't care that this episode's coming out in a couple weeks. Right now, the Astros are in Game 7 of the World Series. And I'm very nervous. The other thing that I have noticed is I'm superstitious when it comes to baseball, and only baseball, and that's about it.
Just baseball, no other anything.
Not really, just baseball. Like, and especially when it comes to my Astros in the playoffs and their scenarios. Like, I don't know if that's because I grew up playing baseball, but like everything else, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care. I'm not superstitious. Like black cats, break a mirror, walk under a ladder. I've done it all.
Wait, break a beer?
Break a mirror. Sorry, is my mic cutting out?
I thought you said break a beer, and I was like,
no.
what?
Things were about to get real.
One.
Things were going to get toasty if Burke said break a beer and Brian's in the podcast.
Yeah,
it would have been
look, I'm cool with a lot of things. Sacrifice a goat if you have to. Just do not waste beer, okay?
No, yeah, I understand right there. So, but like I've noticed, like today, or actually the past basically week, I have not shaved at all. And the one day I did shave, I was like, it was game 3? No, I was game 4 when the Astros lost. And I was like, nope, not shaving, not doing it. Nope, can't do it. Not, I don't care that I have the grossest neck beard going to a client site. Nope, I will use the Astros as I'm like, what? And today I'm sitting here going, what the fuck is wrong with me? I look like an ape. Like, I'm just, what the fuck? And so I eventually just said, it's bullshit. They're going to play the way they play. And I shaved my neck, and I'm really hoping they win. And I'm kind of nervous about it. But then again,
I mean,
you screwed yourself.
I don't know.
No. Time out. First off, Burke, I think that shaving is the right thing to do, because before every Lions game, I shower and get shaved and cleaned up because I need to look proper for game day, even though I don't see anyone. For some reason, it feels like I make sure I'm fully clean. I'm in comfortable clothes and stuff, but I'm like cleaned up before the Lions play. You know what I mean? And I don't know what. And once again, call it superstition, but it sure does feel like we do better every time I've really gotten cleaned up. Past few weeks, haven't shaved. Clearly, I need to start doing that again.
So are you telling me that you didn't take showers for 2000 to 2014?
Funny stuff. She's great, isn't she, folks?
I can spell Brian from here.
Medezi, everybody. Medezi. Let's give it up for Medezi. That's the clap of the hand.
Her last podcast, everybody. What about you, Michelle? You're telling me you've never done anything superstitious, and it doesn't have to be sports. It could be games, anything.
I am not a superstitious person at all.
See?
Oh, really? You're telling me you never played Pokemon and tap B to get a catch or something?
No, I've never actually done that.
That's
okay.
see like that.
I read that and I was like, that's a lot of bullshit.
And Brian's like, yeah, bullshit.
Right? Like, who did
I didn't write that article.
First off, it was A. Hold A.
No, I don't know. I'm just not a superstitious person.
I know. Me neither. Anywhere else outside of the Astros in the playoff scenario, I'm freaking the fuck out because of it. I don't understand. The logic portions in my brain have just gone out the window, and it's kind of bugging me. Obviously, I'm sitting here kind of ranting about it. I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Is it the bigger the venue and the more you care, the more you're willing to essentially invest of yourself into this superstition?
Probably. And obviously this is the first time the Astros have gone to the World Series, I guess, since 2005. Mm-hmm. And it's the first time they've won. So, and I'm just, I've been waiting for this my whole life. There's been one team I have followed my whole life, and it has been the Astros. So it's probably has something to do with it too.
I mean, one of our group has been suspiciously quiet about their.
I have absolutely no superstitions when it comes to sports in any particular manner. I don't know what you're talking about. You're a liar. Fake news. Fake news. Fake news.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, I have a lot of little like ticks and things like that when it comes to superstitions in sports. I think we did
slightly touch on yours before.
I think we did
during the sports episode.
I think we did. And the thing is, I feel like if I'm being honest, it's not that I actually believe that it has any merit or any outcome on the game. Like it is what it is. It's more of like the fun tradition. You know what I mean? Where it's not like, oh my God, we have to do this. It's just the majority of it comes from my dad. Him and I doing something, and we'd come up with a routine during some game, and we start winning. We just like keep doing it. Like I have more fun just with that kind of stuff. Where one game during the playoffs in 2011, the Tigers were at New York, the Yankees. Not that the Mets would be in the World Series, lol. But they're playing the Yankees, and my dad and I, there was a series of events that kept happening, and we were on separate couches. And so we couldn't get up. Like we had to stay there because it'd been like 4 innings of just like great stuff. So dad and I are at separate couches, but we both have different things of popcorn. My dad loves like different flavored popcorn. And we were throwing popcorn to each other from different couches because we weren't allowed to stand up. And it's always like the thing that makes me the happiest is it's always an unspoken thing. It's never, we can't move. It is, we both just know. You don't move. You don't move. Things are right. And then every single time, invariably, whenever it's a family event, my mom will get up to go do something. We're like, damn it, Tammy! Both of us are pissed off because she gets up and go. And I just think it's a lot of fun. Yes. I don't think it has any merit to anything. It's just a ton of fun and like a fun tradition that we keep going.
Sure. And actually, now that you say that reminded me of one that Mike had years ago, which was, when Mike pretty much exclusively watched the Lions back in the day. Every time my mom watched is when something bad would happen. She's like, "Oh, are you watching the Lions game?" And she'd look at the TV and it's like fumble, and it's like just something, and he would go, "Carol, no!" She just start yelling at her. So that's like, so that as soon as you said that, I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so true." Like I remember that. She wasn't allowed to watch. Like literally, if they started doing bad, he would call her and be like, "Are you watching?" She's like, "I just turned the game on." And she's like, "Turn it off right now." Oh God,
that's great stuff.
So speaking of warriors of sports, let's change. Let's say we're going to talk, kind of shift gears and talk about our main topic for the day, which is warriors of comics. Well, and the big screen, I suppose. Just it's a little bit more specific. Today's topic is specifically about the Justice League, DC Comics. But more importantly, I suppose it's the DC cinematic universe. So
yeah, that's the focus, moreover, of today's conversation. But I don't want to completely limit it to where we can't bring in outside materials into it. So what is? I kind of wanted to see what the general demeanor is. But by the time this releases, it's going to be just a couple days until the Justice League movie. Basically the first live action one ever is going to be released. What is the general level of excitement / hype for each person? And you can have a negative amount. That is a perfectly acceptable thing.
Okay. And should we say like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the most exciting thing that's ever happened on Earth and 0 being like not excited at all?
Those directions. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. For me, I would say I'm at about a 2 for excitement.
Okay,
maybe 1.
I'll go and say, I think the only reason I've seen any sort of trailer or information about this is because I've been watching the World Series. So I'll go with a 1.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna up the scale here, and hopefully won't be alone here. I'm gonna put myself at about a 7.
I would say I am roughly around the 7 to 8 range as well. I am immensely excited and hopeful and praying that my hopes aren't dashed.
Well, that is what a symbol means, hope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know. I think Michelle and I are probably on the opposite end than a lot of other people, not just on this podcast, but in the universe. So let's just do like kind of a small rundown. I'll let you two, Burke and Brian, kind of run down maybe why you guys are kind of on the end that you're at, and then Michelle and I will be we'll just kind of give a little bit more information as to why we are at where we are at.
Okay. Burke, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, and mine actually might sound a little contradictory, but like the reason I pick a 1 is because usually about the only movie I care about and have cared about in the past decade have either been the new Hobbit series or Star Wars. And there's one over the was it Inception? No, not Inception. The other I one with McConaughey. I never remember it. Fuck it.
Interstellar.
Yeah. Like outside of that, I have not been excited for any movies. So that's really the reason I'm like 1 on the scale. Like just because I like watching movies, but not really going to the theater for them, except for those, obviously the ones I mentioned. But like that being said, like, will I watch it? I might go, yes. But it won't be out of any excitement, like fanboy, like yay DC! I think they're gonna do some awesome stuff. Like, because watching like the latest Wonder Woman was an amazing movie in my opinion, and like that like has me excited for the next one, but not excited enough to be like all giddy like a schoolgirl. Microaggression, get him. Oh, sorry.
No, I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean. It's not like I got you. No, I hear you. See, and like I come at it from a very different side for why I'm not excited. I'm not excited because I don't feel in it. I put it at a 2 because I just want to see what it would be like to have a Justice League movie. Beyond that, like I don't feel like they did a very good job setting up for this movie at all. I feel like they've done a very poor job establishing a lot of the stuff going on, with this. Like basically for as seamlessly as Marvel did it leading into the first Avengers movie, like where that first Avengers movie, you had like all your characters laid out and you were really hyped. You knew each one of them, their personalities, and you're like, man, I can't wait to see them all on one screen. For me, the only ones I wanted to see on screen together was Batman and Superman, and I already got that movie. So this is like, oh, and now we're going to add in all these other characters. I'm like, yeah, but you got the CW for that, and they already do a great job every week. I'm good. Like, I'm just not. I can't get excited about it as badly as I want to be. Like the 7-year-old in me is like, you idiot, this is your dream. And I'm like, yeah, but the reality of it is, I'm like, I got the CW for this already. And I don't think they've done a good enough job to earn the Justice League movie yet. And I can't see, I have a hard time envisioning this movie, being amazing. So I'm just not that excited. We go see it, of course. Well, they have my money. It's not a question, but I'm not that hyped.
Okay. I'll go before Craig because Craig knows a lot more about DC than I do. So one of the reasons that I'm super excited is that my main exposure to most things DC was the Justice League cartoon that I watched as a kid. I didn't really watch a lot of the standalone shows. I did not see most of the Batman movies until later in my life. I did not see most of the Superman movies later into my life. I never watched Smallville, and I'll be honest, that's because I didn't even know it was about Superman. That was completely my ignorance. I just literally thought it was just about this farm town in Kansas, so I was like, who gives a shit about
awesome.
this? Like, I didn't know.
No, yeah, it's honestly,
somebody needed to save her.
I know. And now I gotta go back and watch 10 years of Smallville somehow.
I give that joke a Remy 0.
But yeah, so my main exposure to DC was the Justice League cartoon. So to have a Justice League movie is part of the reason that I'm super excited. And the other reason that I am excited is because I do feel about this way about Marvel characters too, but I don't feel that superheroes as good as they're on their own as they are together. To me, like, the separate heroes in the Justice League are not as good as they are together. And even the separate heroes in the Avengers are not as good as they are together to me. That's not that they're bad. They're just not as good as when they're all a group. And the other reason that I'm super hype is one of my favorite characters in the Justice League cartoon was Aquaman, and I was always pretty alone in that because everybody else was always like Batman, Superman, like. But I really enjoyed Aquaman, so I'm actually just super excited because this is going to be the first exposure to Aquaman in the series. So that's the other reason that I am hype.
My approach is more of the, as Brian said, the 7-year-old in me is like, dude, you're getting your chance now. All the shit that you used to want to see before, like you're actually getting it to where the things that you like are a part of like the popular culture now. And so it just gets me excited because I'm wanting to go and I'm wanting to see it, and it has everything to do with my wants and has nothing to do with expectations in terms of my hype. Everything's just, it's happening. Like you are going to go to a theater and you're going to see in one shot, in one frame, you're going to see Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg. Like you're going to get all those. I really wish it had been a way they could have done, they wouldn't have gone New 52 and somehow gotten in a lantern in there, but I'm getting way off.
Whatever.
That's not what I'm going for right now. It's just this, like, I just get so excited with it. And Brian, you're probably going to make fun of me because every single time you see anything like this, that you're usually the most pissed off. Like you see it and you're like, oh, bullshit, feed me a sack of lies. And my family makes fun of me because of the reaction I had. And I feel like you guys would understand the reaction, but Brian, you're going to make fun of me for just in general, even reacting. You'll see what I'm saying. The first time I saw the Justice League trailer, because I was trying to avoid all trailers as much as possible, but Sarah and I mean, it's just starting November right now, and we've already gone to like 30 movies this year. We go to a lot of movies. Like I really just love going to movies in general. Like I think it's one of the best bangs for my buck in terms of my personal experience when I go. I just love the environment of it. So it's really hard to go see that many movies and them not put a AAA blockbuster, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not, and I don't want to sit there and like cover my eyes and try not to hear things. I'm like, I'm just going to watch it and try and be, and just try and do this. And like the first time I saw it was, I think it was, gosh, what was it? It was a packed theater, whatever we were seeing. I can't remember what it was. Like, and literally at the end of it, Sarah looked over, she's like, are you all right? Because I was sitting there just like tearing up. I was like, I'm just so excited now. Like that just completely, it got me. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm going to see it. Beforehand, it really hadn't cognized because it was going, well, they're probably going to fuck it up, and Wonder Woman's probably going to bomb somehow. And, they're probably just going to be like, well, time to cancel Justice League, lol, 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 and run on. And there's going to be 94 Marvel movies every month coming out. And I'm just sitting there going, but Batman over in the corner. And it finally played, and I was sitting there, I was like, oh my God, it's going to fucking happen. Like this is going to fucking happen. And I just got that type of excited. So like, it's much more of a, like this emotional thing for me than like, oh, I think I'm going to go see a new cool movie. I'm really skeptical of what they're going to do with it, with them basically rewriting the entire third act now of the whole film.
Oh yeah.
It's just, I'm scared, but like, I'm still excited.
It's hard to explain, but like, you can briefly mention that, Craig, before I go on to my thing.
Just let me know if there's anything that you guys don't want me to say. But originally it was going to be 2 movies, and then they found out, they're like, okay, we can't do the Marvel thing. Like we can't do like, let's set up all of our characters and then bring in the like team up movie, because we literally just don't know what the fuck we're doing. So like our IPs are a lot better like on their own.
Yeah.
That's how DC works a lot better, is on their own.
Yes.
And so they're saying like, okay, well, let's just have fun. We're going to do Elseworlds. We're going to do this. Like, this is going to be our movie universe. We're going to give the reins over to these great filmmakers that want to tell a good story, and not, hey, we need you, Spielberg, you have to tell our story. You get no creative direction in it. If they're getting Scorsese coming in to want to do a movie, he's not going to be like, okay, I'll just be the guy that brings the Aquaman movie from this part to this part. And no, he's going to want his own thing. So once they did that and they decided, no, we're done with that. We're going to do a lot of individual stories, and every once in a while the interconnected universe will kind of cross over.
Okay.
They were planning Justice League 2, and they went, yep, and we're going we're going to go down to one movie now. So they brought
gotcha.
everything to one movie instead. So they had to kind of rewrite the third act on it.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is that, all right. So please don't mistake the fact that like I do find it incredible that we're getting a Justice League movie finally, right? Like I am like that's where the 7-year-old in me, yes, is absolutely thrilled about this. But I guess when you take a step back and you look at the DC cinematic universe that they've presented to us so far, I mean, to be frank, how many of those do we consider to be truly good movie? Not passable, not okay. I'm talking what you would consider like, you know what, that was just a good movie. Me personally, I would definitely put Wonder Woman as the top of that list, unquestionably, from the DC universe movies. But beyond that, it's like all the other movies were like, they happened. You know what I mean? They weren't like, I don't know how else to put it. They happened. They weren't bad. They weren't the devil or anything like that. But they just weren't really good. And I can't take the extended version of Batman v Superman because it's technically non-canon. For their theatrical universe, extended version Batman v Superman never happened. So Lex Luthor's like not cool and smart, and Batman is murderer basically according to the version that they presented. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's shitty. In the extended version, they correct those mistakes, but it doesn't count. You know what I mean? Like is anyone else with me on this, or am I alone in that?
I agree that the theatrical version we got of BVS was, I'll just say the term I've used the entire time for it. It was a fucking fever dream. You had no idea what was happening at any point ever. Everything seemed so disjointed, and I'm really glad they fixed it. And that's why I'm excited. Is at some point they went just gradually over time. It's gotten better. Every one of them has gotten better, in my opinion. They started off Man of Steel. While this is different in a hot contention between Brian and I don't mind it, but I don't care for happy-go-lucky. Like, I'm here for hope and whatever. Not the hope line, but you know what I mean. With Superman, he's a lot more colorful and usually like he's the good guy. I like the seedier, and I perfectly accept and understand I am in the minority and that everybody else is going to be the same way that I look at it. And I'm like, I hate that they had Batman kill somebody. And they're like, well, it was just one person. I'm like, shut up. That's not the character. I fully understand that's what it is for the Superman fans on that one. But like, that didn't bother me. So I was like, okay, that's good. That was him learning. He ends up killing him at the end. Whatever. It happens. He learned he's going to come back better than ever. And then in BVS, it's like, uh-oh. I kind of skipped over that one. But like it just every one of them seemed like it got better and better to the point where they got to Wonder Woman, which was a great film altogether. Like even Suicide Squad, even though it felt like they had two different movies tonally, it still was kind of fun for me just to watch. And I think again, that's probably just where I'm coming from. I was like, okay, I've had more fun each time. Maybe it's because my expectations have been getting lower and lower each time. So I go into it, I'm like, man, this shit sandwich tastes pretty good. Like you didn't like it last time. It's the same one. I'm like, really? You didn't add cheese or something? Like this is pretty good. So I don't know if maybe that's it. But.
Like the Suicide Squad, for example, they had a perfectly good script in Assault on Arkham.
Yeah.
I mean, like, why would they basically used bits and pieces of it. Why would you just not do Assault on Arkham? There was no reason for you to not do that film. Like that the DC animated films. Have you guys watched those? They're freaking incredible. Those are like, as far as I'm concerned, the coolest version of the DC like movie universe. Like all the Batman stuff, the Justice League, they're all interconnected. The animated stuff is amazing. But then we got some kind of Suicide Squad, and it was like, oh no!
I feel like it's completely because they just try and commercialize. Like they really try and do it. And I guarantee you some people probably think like that was like, oh my God, they referenced the title. Do you get it? No, do you get it? And maybe there were people, maybe I'm just being an idiot and doing a generalization the other way.
Yeah,
but
so coming from me here who didn't grow up, doesn't have that little child inner monologue going, oh my God, no, that's just not there. Like I watched, probably because I didn't know. Like everyone, like I knew that the X-Men were X-Men. I did not know that was in the Marvel universe. Like I was ignorant until probably a couple. Let's go at 5, 10 years ago when they started getting mainstream.
15 minutes ago.
yeah, that too. I had an enlightenment in that last blunt.
It was called Wikipedia.
But like so I didn't know, like, so that's probably why I'm not excited. But like going to Suicide Squad, I also, the only reference I knew of Suicide Squad was crap, it was it in Smallville? No.
Yeah, it was.
There was a Suicide Squad in Smallville.
in there. Yeah, okay.
It was called something else. Was it? They had Checkmate in there.
Yeah,
And they had a Suicide Squad.
I think that was like the first reference I went, oh, there's more to this fucking universe. like and that, like, watching Smallville, that's probably where I picked up wait, Metropolis and Gotham? What? Like really, that is probably when I learned. So I don't have that 7-year-old inner me going, yay. But watching Suicide Squad, yes, like, you know, I agree with the whole 2 movies thing, like, but it was a good movie. Like from me not knowing shit. Like, yes, there were some really cheesy lines and heard it forced, you know, like the Suicide Squad. Like, yes, I saw that, and it wasn't like an amazing movie like Wonder Woman, but I don't hate on it, and I don't agree with all the critics just because I'm coming in it from call it like a naive kind of a sentiment that's like, oh, I'm a giddy school kid watching these a bunch of people blow shit up. Like, that was probably how I viewed it and probably why I liked it.
What about you, Michelle? Because I think you went through these kind of recently, right?
Yeah, so I actually seen Suicide Squad in theaters because other people wanted to see it, but I never got the chance to see anything else in theaters because everybody either already went when I couldn't or had no interest in it. So with the exception of Suicide Squad, I did just catch up on these movies in the last couple of weeks. Batman vs Superman and Wonder Woman were this week, and Man of Steel was either last week or the week before. Okay. So it was pretty recent for me. And
what was your favorite?
Oh, definitely Wonder Woman, easily.
Yeah.
And I initially, my plan was to watch the theatrical release of Batman vs Superman and then the extended release, but unfortunately I just ran out of time, so I've only seen the extended release.
Same here.
So I got the, you know, story that made sense, even though there was still stuff that kind of threw me for a loop and that I was definitely very confused about, but overall I was like, okay, this plot mostly makes sense. But yeah, Wonder Woman was awesome, and that's another reason that I am excited, is because, like Craig, I feel like they are getting progressively better. And you know, maybe this movie won't be the best version of Justice League that it could be, but I think it'll open the door to get there if they continue their upward trend.
Yeah, and see, like for me, I think that I can't. Like, I don't think that Wonder Woman is a good indicator of how Justice League is going to go because of like the filming timing on it. Because they were filmed more or less congruently, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't, like, you know, the timeline on it. I mean, yes, obviously there was a little bit of, like, you know, distance between it. But
they wrapped Wonder Woman before they started Justice League.
Yeah, but but they had already had it all like written out and whatever. Like, they had, like, you know, they've
changed their release order though multiple times.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is they didn't exactly know that Wonder Woman was going to be the smash hit, and they're like, it feels like they're always trying to course correct and catch up to whatever the fun thing is. So, for example, you come out with all this Batman vs Superman stuff, then you have Marvel putting out its fun movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're like, oh, I got an idea, Suicide Squad, we're gonna do a hard left here and make this a comedy. It's like, what? Like, what? No, like, and they just kind of like, oh wait, shit, Wonder Woman did this, time for some reshoots. Like, it just keeps like to feel like they're like whipping across the row left and right. Yeah, you're right. Maybe eventually they're going to find their middle. I just don't feel like this is going to be the middle ground yet.
I do, though. I disagree with you. And I think that the problem is prior to Wonder Woman, I think that DC has highly underestimated both its fan base and people that it could draw into its fan base by making assumptions like no one cares about Wonder Woman, no one cares about, Flash prior to the TV show, like no one cares about Aquaman, no, like they just like, I mean, they know that people like those characters, but they just completely underestimated, I think, how much those characters mean to some people. So I think initially they were like, okay, we gotta go with cash in on Batman success and, try to bring back Superman success that hasn't been around for a very long time. Like, I really think they underestimate their fans, but I think they're at least starting to give them a little more credit.
I mean, but you look at the CW, right? And the CW pumps out amazing shows. Like everybody's super, for the most part, everybody loves the CW shows and that sort of thing. And they have this established universe and whatever. And I understand you need to have two different universes, a movie universe and a TV universe. That's fine. But like, I guess I don't understand why they couldn't have used even just the same actors. You know what I mean? Even if it is technically considered two different like canons or whatever's like.
And that's the reason I'm not like a 9 or a 10 out of excited. Yeah, I am very disappointed that they didn't take the opportunity to join them when they easily could have.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I think it's more logistics. Like Grant Gustin's gonna be like, okay, fuckers, I want a day off here eventually. It's okay, well, I'm going through this, and then this summer I'm in this movie, and then I'm going right back into Flash for the TV show. And then
I think they'd have enough money to make him go, my break's good, thanks.
Well, but then you're also confusing the audiences a lot. If they're not the same universe, if they're literally not interconnected, then you're going, oh, well, like, wait, so what he did in the movie didn't make, like, does that not count? What the hell? Like, obviously for us, we'd be able to look it up online and go, oh, it's two different universes. That's Earth 1, that's Earth 95, whatever.
Yeah.
Big deal. We'll move on. But I think you're getting the standard, you're getting my mom going out there trying to bring in like my niece and nephew, and she's going, what in the blue hell is happening here? Or really, even if I think about it, like my sister and her husband, like they would even kind of get like, okay, as comic books, and he even kind of plays like the Marvel video games and stuff. Guarantee he wouldn't have no idea like Earth 1 and Earth 2, like what's I think that would be confusing. And then if you did interconnect all of it, now you're going to get people that are like, dude, I watched this for free on broadcast television over the airwaves, and now I have to go to see a fucking movie to understand what happened. And do I have to see that before the next season starts? Like,
sure.
What the fuck's do I do? So I think that they were in a lose situation where no matter what they did, and I honestly think this is the best one. It's like, keep them separate. Though I would love it. I would absolutely fucking love it, because I would love it as a fan of going, yeah, I don't care. Go through and actually put those things connected. Like let's have it where the movie does connect. That's just me as the fan, because I would go see the movie anyway. So that supplements that. But like I just don't think it's possible logistically to do it.
Yeah, you made some really good points of that last argument, and like, because I was like, yeah, why couldn't you combine the universes? And now I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I agree. It makes sense. I would love to see those characters because I've come to love them, but logistically, and
well. And I
say is in the Flash movie, Grant Gustin just has to pop in and be like,
right,
shit, wrong universe. And
yes.
Because it sounds like they're going to make, I mean, just by seeing the Flash character, he seems like he's going to be a fun guy as well. So anyway, sorry, that's
no. And while I agree with what you're saying on that, I guess part of the reason that it upsets me, I guess, more than anything, is that it feels like they're introducing these characters in the wrong way by doing it all in this big movie, the way they're doing it. Like, hear me out on this. Like, I all know who Aquaman is and the Flash, right? But the thing is that we don't know their personalities in this particular universe. Like in the animated one, you knew the Flash and Batman and whatever, because they all had their own individual shows. They all kind of had like their own dynamic. Then you had the Justice League Unlimited, and they were all brought together, and they still had their personalities from their shows. Same thing then happened with the Marvel Universe years later, where they were like, okay, here's Iron Man, his personality. Here's the Hulk, here's his personality. Then you bring them together, and then you're like, oh, but now they can all play off each other, and you have these characters that you know. Doing it this way, it'd be like the equivalent of you're just saying, oh, and here's the Flash. Real quick, he's the funny one. Establish him as the funny one. Make him say one funny line. Ha ha, he's the funny one. I'm like, no, I want to grow to learn that he is the funny one. I want his like personal story and experience before you throw him in the group setting, because like his impact is lessened to me because you didn't take the time to develop the character.
Okay, let's jump to Marvel and go Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
The first one.
Yes.
Did that work?
It worked in this. Yes, it did work.
So they had full character development and everything. So obviously, I know we're talking DC,
right?
But they could technically do that. They've introduced 3 characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they're just adding some more. And you still have what? That's going to be over 3 hours long, I'm sure. You got 3 hours?
Nope.
No,
it's 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay,
2
damn.
hours.
Yeah.
Oh no!
2 hours.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You've got the same reaction most of the other fan base does. Everybody's mad that it was 2 hours.
All right,
Michelle,
that's going to be tough.
All right. So I'm actually going to be in the middle of you two. So first, I disagree with Brian, and I'll get to that in a second. But I also do want to say, Burke, to just counter your point slightly, I think one of the reasons it was easier to do it with Guardians of the Galaxy is that they are much lesser known characters in general anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to counter Brian, here's my problem. I'm really sick of origin stories by this point, and I think everybody else is too.
I'm not.
We've gotten them.
Mm-hmm.
We've
I
gotten
hate origin stories at this part.
We've gotten them multiple times throughout the years. Multiple books, multiple shows, multiple movies. Like, that's why I'm finally like, you know what? That's why I'm okay with them just lumping them together, because it's like, okay, let's just do this finally, because we do know who all of these characters are.
But what about your guy, though?
If they were trying, what do you mean?
You're Mr. King of Atlantis. You're telling me you don't want him to have his own personal individual feature-length film, like first?
I would be happy if he had his own movie, but it does. I don't need the origin movie, which is why it doesn't need to come before Justice League.
Interesting. So like it's one of those deals where you're just willing to go into it and be like, I accept that he is the way he is because he is what he is.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
See, I'm not willing to do that. The Flash and Aquaman and the Justice League's gonna be mainly has like cyborg elements of like his origin story in it, but just the Flash. Like, I know the Flash's backstory, I know Aquaman's backstory, but that's only because I'm a fan. If I wasn't a fan of that, I would probably want to know more about their origin story, and I would like to see that.
And I still think you can touch on it a little bit afterward. I think if they do standalone movies even afterward, they can go, okay, here's like a quick 10-minute thing, and then here's just a new story. Like, but I don't want a full feature-length origin story from any superhero right now. And I think it's okay with certain characters, and it works. Even in Marvel, like, you didn't see Hawkeye and Widow that much prior to Avengers.
True.
Very little. Just, slightly longer cameos than what Aquaman and Flash got, but you didn't see a lot of them, and you still were okay with their characters in the movie.
Yeah, they just weren't like the headliners.
Oh,
well, no, it's the equivalent of the headliners, though. Is all I'm getting at. Is like if I told you to name the Avengers, the first person out of your mouth would not be Hawkeye. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not. I don't know. Like,
and even with origin stories, the first person out of your mouth would not be Flash or Aquaman or anybody but Superman or Batman.
Well,
I guarantee it.
There's the big three. Obviously Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Like, right, and then the next person out of my mouth would be Flash and Aquaman.
But they're
don't
still
give away too much. Some of that might come up later.
I'm just saying they're still way down on your list is my point. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying I don't think they need their movies first.
Okay.
I think a majority of people, this is just a guess, so I could be very wrong. And maybe it is a guess because I have the bias this way too. But from what I've heard, because I listen to a lot of different like comic podcasts and things of the nature, it seems like there's quite a few people that are in the same boat where it's like, are you fucking serious? Another origin story. I am sick of this shit. So like, I think that's kind of where that boat is. And we got 3 sort of origins already. Like, we got the Wonder Woman, obviously, as a full length.
Mm-hmm.
Batman, they gave you 3 minutes, and that was 3 minutes too much, in my opinion, especially with the moment that they attached to it. Fuck you, Martha. And then obviously Superman got his entire feature length as well. Like I am just completely out of the like. Has everybody seen Spider-Man, the new one?
Yes. Amazing, because it wasn't a fucking origin movie.
There's a new one?
They were
Hold
like,
on.
okay,
We
you
didn't
already
need
know
it
who
because there was
Spider-Man is. Great.
I agree with you on the Spider-Man one completely. Like, please don't think that I think that every hero needs one. I think that the ones like here's superheroes that don't need an origin story: Batman, Spider-Man. We've seen that like 8 times in 10 years. Now, granted, how many origin stories of the Flash have you ever seen?
What?
Are you
The
talking
one
to
on
me?
TV.
The one on TV. Okay, go ahead and tell me the Flash movie that you've seen. Go ahead and just tell.
Visuals. No,
Yeah,
I haven't watched
exactly.
any of the
That's,
other
That's the part
live
what I'm
action movies.
getting at is like the Flash and Aquaman. They deserve screen time. They deserve their own movie, and they deserve an origin story. They shouldn't be relegated to where they are, and they're getting gypped out of their own feature-length film as an origin story because they've earned an origin story because they've been in the back way too long. I think they deserve it.
You're right. We definitely need to give them, each one of them, their Wolverine treatment of
I
origin
agree.
stories.
Yes, with bad CG and Ryan Reynolds with his mouth sewed shut.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds with his mouth sewn shut, it is now time for you to sew your own mouth shut, Brian, with this quiz.
But
I don't even know.
Because it makes no sense.
okay.
Trust me, it makes
Okay.
no sense. So this quiz is going to be slightly different than ones we have done before.
God.
I started going through and making this quiz, and I went, you know what? Like, I still want this to be like a fun quiz where you get to learn about the Justice League from the books and maybe a little bit from TV and movies. But I don't want to completely just put Brian in the driver's seat like some of the first podcasts we did where he ran away with like 94 points and no one else got one. So I've made some special rules for this quiz.
Yay.
This is how turn order is going to go. It's going to go Brian, Burke, and then Michelle. Brian, you get to go through an answer. And then Burke and Michelle, in their order, get to either choose to answer themselves or they get to choose to see if you are right or wrong.
God dang it.
So, Brian,
Yes.
you have to play the game of if you're not confident and you know you're not confident, you might want to sound confident. Or if you don't know if you're confident, then maybe I don't know. What's he doing? Where is he going? And to try and balance this out, and this might be horrible, and at the end of it, you know what? I may have fucked one of the groups. I don't
I
know.
hope it ends up with Brian.
I
being
didn't get a
fucked.
chance to test this out beforehand to see what the balance points are. What I figured I would do is if the person can answer the things themselves, they will get double the points. And they only get half the points for just picking Brian's side. And that's about the only thing I could come up with that was on the without testing. I couldn't really figure
Makes
out
sense.
anymore. So some of them are like, hey, you need to. There's a number of things, and I won't do the double points for that. I just can't. Like if there's like an answer that if there's an answer and I'm looking for 7 different things, I can't just do. I do that. You'll just get whole points on that one. But they're very few and far between. Most of the time, everything will be double points if you answer correctly, and then it'll be half points if you just pick the same side Brian does. So it will go Brian, and then you two get to do your guess, and then we'll see how things go after that. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Roger, Rod.
All right. Brian, are you ready?
No, now I feel like
Yes.
this is a way harder situation.
I
I'm in.
like this.
Okay. What comic book was the first to have the Justice League in it?
Like, what was the very first Justice League comic series or no?
What was
are we
the
talking
first
issue
comic
number
book?
or
What was the first comic book? And I will let you just guess the name of the book.
okay?
What was the first comic book to display the Justice League in it?
The first comic to display the Justice League in it was I'm going to say it was a Superman comic actually.
Burke.
Brian is wrong. Is that a good enough answer for me?
that succeeds what you're trying to go
All
for.
right.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a guess, and I'm going to say that it was actually a Green Lantern comic.
Here's what I found. And I
Okay.
double checked on this, and I did a quick check again just to make sure. The answer that I found was, and every single fucking website had this exact spelling as well. I
Okay.
checked 4 different websites. Maybe I checked the wrong 4. But the answer was The Brace and the Bold. And I went, oh, well, obviously that must be The Brave and the Bold.
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't. I went to multiple sources and they all said Brace and the Bold. Either way, I think it's probably Brave and the Bold, and they all copied off each other. I wanted to see if you were, Brian, you were like, oh, yeah, I remember that from whatever. I'm assuming it meant Brave and the Bold, but either way, it's not Superman.
Yeah, no, I had no idea what the hell that was even. No.
Okay.
And Burke takes
So-
the early lead.
Burke has a half-point lead. What year was the first Justice League comic book released?
That was 1956.
Brian is correct.
Oh, going bold without just, okay.
Probably a smart move.
I'm going to say 1969.
1969. Well, based on the rules, I think I have to give Burke a half a point because Brian technically got the question correct over everybody else. He was years off, though.
Sorry. I thought you were giving, like, you didn't say the closest. You said what was the year. So I didn't know. I thought it was right or wrong.
Well, normally we would do closest to.
Closest to
Sorry.
it. Yeah.
So technically, Brian's going to get a point on that, and Burke is also going to get a point.
It was
For
1940
those.
something, probably, wasn't it?
It was 1960. You were only 4
Oh,
years off.
okay.
You were not that far off.
Yeah, it was a guess, but it was.
All right. Who were the original members of the Justice League?
Okay, original members of the Justice League would have been Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Let's see the originals. I'm gonna say it's just those three. I'm gonna say the original Justice League was shy some members.
Okay.
How many were in the original Justice League?
Doesn't that seem like cheating?
No, because
I'm not answering
damn
that.
it, I was trying. It's like Brian can't re-answer, but it'll give me an advantage. I'm gonna go with Brian's answer and add Flash.
So wait, you're agreeing with me, but adding someone is that allowed?
But I'm just saying,
Can you restate those names for me?
hit Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman,
Okay.
and then the Flash.
Okay.
I'm guessing Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern.
Okay. This is one of the questions that I did not double the points because that could have been just wildly unfair to Brian. So everybody was at normal points for that. The answer was Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter.
They had. I didn't think Martian Manhunter would have been around at that time.
They had all of those. Those were the original members.
No kidding. Wow. Okay.
I don't even know who that last person
From
was.
first publication.
Wow.
We'll get to more on why I had to justify that later. All right. The Justice League was not the first superhero team in DC history. Which team came before them?
The Justice League of America.
The Justice League of Mexico.
I'm just going to go with Brian is wrong here.
Brian is wrong.
That was
here.
really my Brian is wrong answer.
You guys are mean.
So Burke, you actually answered something, so you're getting 0 because you got
I
it wrong.
know. I know.
It was the Justice Society of America.
Damn
the
it.
JSA were the first group.
I was so close. I was
So
close.
Michelle gets half a point on that one.
Damn it. I can't believe I got it's
I
society.
knew it was Justice something else, but I could not remember what it was. So I was just like, I'm just going to go with Brian's wrong.
Did you watch Legends
Yeah,
this
I
past
know.
year,
I
Brian?
did watch Legends.
Did you watch Smallville as well? I don't remember. I thought this would be the one you'd hem and haw and be like, I don't know this, and like try and fake them out.
Like in my head, I was like, it's like we've been talking about Justice League so much. Like my brain was like league. It just
Okay, number 5, Brian.
yeah.
Who were the first 3 members to join the already existing Justice League? These are all, if people, and I'll give this to everybody,
Mhm.
if you have watched, I will say the entirety of the CW universe for DC this past little bit, the past couple of years, you have seen every one of these characters. Excuse me, except one.
Okay.
Oh, no,
and
I'm sorry. I read it wrong. All 3 of them. Wow, I read that really wrong.
So
You've seen all 3 of these characters.
3 characters. Okay,
Yeah.
then in that case, the 3 characters clearly are Green Arrow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with how many were there total? You said
3. The
Three.
first 3 members to join the Justice League. to be
Okay.
accepted by the other 7.
Can we get the existing 7 again?
Yeah, I can rename that again. Brian, if you want to take 1 second to think.
Yeah, I
The
will.
existing 7 are Batman at number 1, and then the rest: Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and the Martian Manhunter. Those were the 7 to start.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with I say Green Arrow, followed by Kid Flash, and I don't. This is a fucking disaster because like these you're asking hard ass questions. I don't know. Red Tornado.
I really want to go with Brian is wrong, but I want to guess. So since I can't guess, I'm going to go with Brian's wrong.
I am going to say Green Arrow, Black Canary, and I was thinking the whole time and I couldn't figure out who my third guess. I'll go with, to say any of those people, Supergirl.
So, Brian and Michelle are both going to get 1 point.
Okay.
You both got the Green Arrow. Burke, sorry, I'm giving you 0 because Brian did get it wrong, but he got part of it right, so that negates you.
If I do, I could get a point. Jesus Christ, your
Play the
rules
game.
suck.
Green
Play
Arrow.
the game,
okay.
son.
That's bullshit.
Green-
Like
Play
you
the
said,
game,
it's
son.
yes or you said it's yes or no. So therefore, Brian doesn't get any points. If you're saying 1 point per character, that's a whole different fucking story. That's a whole different set of odds that I would have played the
All
game
right,
differently.
I will go through and give you half a point on that one, and I will let you know beforehand that that it's going to be a multi-point question, and you will have your choice beforehand. And if you answer,
Thank you.
Brian gets half of it right and half of it wrong, and you just choose Brian, then you will get no points either way, or you have to answer yourself. All right. The answer is the Green Arrow, the Atom, and Hawkman.
No shit.
Those were the first 3 to join in. I originally thought that Atom was an original member.
Oh, really?
I thought he was. And so when I read that, I was like, oh, I thought he was an original member. It didn't like sink in when I saw the first one because I was like, oh, yeah, it's the 7. Yeah, it's just what it is. But then I read the Atom. I was like, fuck, I always thought he was the original member. All right. Number 6, a multi-point question. It is for 2 points. Because of the Justice League's success, what 2 superhero groups were formed specifically to compete with the Justice Leagues at the DC Comics rival, Marvel Comics?
That would be the Avengers and it's 2 different groups, right? These
Different
superhero groups.
Not individual superheroes.
And
the
it's from
group.
Marvel.
So,
So
Marvel.
Marvel had the Avengers, and they also had. I'm trying to think about what the heck the name of that is. Like Unlimited X-Men, or something like that.
Okay.
All right. So you did say different like superhero groups.
That is correct.
Groups. Okay.
It is a collection of individuals that are a group where there's multiple members.
But on the good side or the bad side, or can I not ask that?
I'll say it's the good side. It's the superhero
Okay,
groups, not the supervillains group. Yep.
That's
You're
what I was trying to clarify.
you're good. Brian, does that change your answer?
No,
Okay.
not at all. No. I'm pretty confident. I just
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the Avengers and actually just regular X-Men because I have no clue.
Okay.
Yeah, I was also just going to say Avengers and X-Men.
Okay. I will, no matter what version of the X-Men you say, I will say that you meant a whatever version because they're all wrong. It is it was the first group to compete. The first one was the Fantastic Four. They were specifically made for it. And then the Avengers came out after they went, let's not create a new IP. Let's actually just like shove all these people together.
Yeah, I'm with you. That makes sense.
Okay.
That's cool.
Here we go. This one should be fun. At one point, and Supergirl fans will know this name, the CW Supergirl fans. At one point, the Justice League had a mascot in the comic books. Like in story, they had a mascot. His name was Lucas Snapper Carr, who would tag along on their missions. He was like a little, basically a kid. He was not received well. He was very much not received well. And he is now considered officially to be compared to what hated space opera character?
Hated what?
All right, I know the answer. He's compared to Jar Jar.
Okay.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I was going to say Jar Jar Binks.
Okay. It is Jar Jar Binks. All right. Here's a longer question, so if I need to rephrase this, because I was typing this late at night one night. Comics are very much a collaborative art form. Many writers over the course of decades, they all have their own input on how a story should be told and how a character's backstory might come into play during that story. This kind of creates some confusing backstories and continuities when they have to alter things back and forth. DC came up with a way to mitigate this problem. They had all the characters from every parallel world fight together to beat a cosmically all-powerful villain called Anti-Monitor, and they won. This merged the majority of the important DC versions of Earth all together. What was this comic book series called? And it is The Blank on Infinite Earths.
The Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Sure. Sounds good.
I'm just going to go with Brian is wrong.
Okay. And it is The Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah! Oh, yeah, Michelle. Doubting me?
I mean, you sounded confident, but I was like, that sounds kind of like a fake confidence.
That's why, Brian, you got to play the game, man. See, he's doing it. He's playing the game. He's going to fake the fake.
I'm going to fake the fake. That's right.
Okay. This is going to be a callback for those that were paying attention earlier. Sort of. It's you might need a nat 20 this perception check, though. After Crisis, backstories were altered and solidified. One of them was the origins of the Justice League. Now, at this point, Wonder Woman was not considered a founding member on this new merged Earth. She was replaced by what superhero, who is at one point portrayed by Katie Cassidy on the CW's Green Arrow, or Arrow, I think is what it's called.
Shoot. Oh no, what's it? Power Girl. I don't know. I couldn't think of it. Supergirl. I don't know. I'm gonna go Supergirl because I don't know.
Fuck. Let's stay with the girl theme. I like that. Let's go with Stargirl. That's it. Totally.
I'm gonna go with the character that I know she plays that's good, and Katie Cassidy is Black Canary.
The answer is the Black Canary.
I had no idea who the actress's name. That's what threw me more than anything you just said. If you give me character stuff, I'm in. Like actual people, no.
Yep, it was the Black Canary. So I was kind of giggling earlier when Michelle earlier said that she was one of the first to join the Justice League. I was like, well, technically now.
Now, yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 10. At one point, the Justice League was disbanded by Aquaman and only recruited new members that were young, hip, and cool. Basically, teenagers with attitude. This was in an effort to compete with the now super popular Marvel's X-Men. What real-world city did Aquaman move the Justice League to?
Oh shit! I know this. Oh god, it was like he moved them to Seattle. It was Seattle. I'm hiding my face, by the way, because like every time I say anything, Michelle looks at me to judge me, and so like I'm just not going to give her anything anymore. I'm going to Wilson this thing.
I'm going to go. What is Detroit?
I'm going to go with Brian is wrong.
Brian is wrong.
Brian is wrong.
The answer is Detroit.
I literally was guessing and praying somebody would go with it because I had no idea.
Yes.
He brought jobs to Detroit.
He brought jobs to Detroit.
Good on you, Aquaman.
Okay.
I can't believe did that mean I get 2 points?
Huh?
Is that like 2 points for me when I guess correctly? Is that what you're saying?
1 point.
Oh, I thought it was.
Nope. 1 point.
Okay.
Between the 80s, when the Crisis started, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and 2011, things got really screwy again with the continuities. And in an effort to rebrand, they came up with one story to rebrand, rebuild, and reboot all of the DC books. What was that storyline that did this?
That was the New 52.
Yeah. What was the story? Not the name of the New What was the story? What was the like how Crisis on Infinite Earth was the storyline
I
that created
gotcha.
this whole like everything got crazy and whatnot?
I understand. That's the Flashpoint
Okay.
that unified it.
That is correct.
Yeah, I'm going with that's correct.
Okay, the answer is Flashpoint. Number 12. The Flashpoint storyline has been told how many different times and what mediums were they on? You don't have to like pair them together. Like you don't have to say the exact ones, but I just want a number and then
Okay.
tell me what
3.
okay, and what were
The
they?
3 are in comics, an animated movie, and on the CW.
Okay.
Is this a yes or no or multi-point question?
Let's go with multi-point.
Shit. Let's go with. So you're saying basically three mediums was a reset made in?
Yeah,
Is that,
how
that's what
how
you're
many
asking?
were there? And then name what 3 mediums they were displayed on, I'll say.
Flashpoints. I don't know. Let's go with.
So there's 4 points up for grab.
Okay. Fuck. 3. No, let's go with 4. Sure, and let's go comic books, the movies, the animated movies, and actual. That's already comic book. Let's go TV.
Okay.
Sure. No fucking.
All right,
clue.
I'm gonna say 4, and I'm actually gonna say TV, movies, comic books, and video games.
Okay. So the person that got all 4 points was Brian. It was 3 different iterations. And so 1 point for getting the number of iterations correct. And each one of the iterations itself, there was the CW's Flash,
Seen them
the
all.
animated movie, Flashpoint Paradox, and then the comics, the Flashpoint series, were the 4 different answers for that.
The animated movie was tight.
They did change quite a bit of it, though.
Oh yeah, they did, and it was awesome. It was literally it was a post-apocalyptic world where with Batman's dad's there with the guns and Thomas Wayne shooting up the place. It was awesome.
Number 13, Flashpoint can be used as a great tool in a universe that can not only do reboots and get everything back to normal in terms of helping writers out and the readers themselves, it can set up some really fun one-off situations that normally wouldn't exist. And it also allows characters to change drastically. Wrap text on. In the Flashpoint comic book series, what character takes up the mantle of the Batman?
Oh, it was his dad, Thomas Wayne. Yeah.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna say the Joker, because that would be hilarious, even though I think it's wrong.
It was Thomas Wayne.
Yeah,
As soon as
buddy.
you said that earlier, I was like, oh, that's the next question.
Yeah, well.
It was Thomas Wayne. In the comic books, the Joker actually is not the Joker. Well, the Joker is actually Martha, his mother. His mother becomes the Joker and his dad becomes Batman in the alternate timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Number 14.
Because Bruce, I think it's Bruce who gets shot. Or
Yeah,
something.
Bruce gets shot instead of his parents.
Yeah.
14. Once Flashpoint was resolved, it brought on the new rebooted DC universe, which they branded as
The New 52.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll go with Brian is correct.
Okay.
I love hearing that. I'm going to get that as my
It is
ringtone.
the new 52. Second to last question here. Okay. The new 52 inspired a lot of, was the inspiration behind a lot of the visuals and different things of this new DC movie universe they have. But there was supposed to be a Justice League years before in 2008, but the writer's strike ruined it. They had it fully casted already. Armie Hammer was Batman, DJ Corona was Superman, Megan Gale was Wonder Woman, Common Green Lantern, Adam Brody was the Flash, which would have been awesome in my opinion. Santiago Cabrera is Aquaman, and Hughes Case Bernice, I don't know how to say his name, as the Martian Manhunter. What legendary director, known for his Mad Max films, was going to take on the helm of this movie?
Shoot, who did Mad Max? Is that Spielberg? I want to say Spielberg. I think he did Mad Max.
Yeah.
I know it's like a Miller, Bob Miller.
Okay.
I'm going with Brian is wrong.
Okay. The answer was George Miller. George
There
Miller.
it is.
So, Burke, I gave you half a point for getting the last name correct. And the final question the final question here. I'm going to say it once, so I will speak hopefully very clearly. And the first person to answer is going to get the points for it. The point, excuse me. So it's first person to answer. I'm going to say it once. I'm not going to explain myself. You just have to have the answer.
Okay.
Who would win?
Batman.
Burke gets the point.
I don't even know what he said.
This was not premeditated, I assure you.
I don't even. What did you?
I literally
Who would win?
I didn't even hear you say the N and win, and I heard him go Batman.
I didn't
and
hear
was like,
myself
well, that's
say
the end of
of
this.
that sentence either, and he just said it. But the question was, who would win?
I was waiting
There needs to be no
and
context.
Batman was the
There needs to
answer.
be nothing
Batman
else.
was the answer.
That is the
Absolutely,
answer.
that's the correct answer.
I was like, I know Craig. I don't know. As soon as he says the first word, I'm yelling Batman.
Damn it! I actually no. I hand to God, I was like before you even said the question, I was just gonna yell Batman. I swear to
That's what
God, I was
setting
going
up
to do
for.
it.
I was setting up
And
for
I was like,
everybody to yell Batman.
but I was
at
like,
the
man,
end.
you know what? But I was like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, if I hold out, I can get this answer right and turn the tide of this thing. And then, sure enough, no, I should have just gone with my first gut instinct. God dang it.
Okay. So, the point totals for this affair, tied for first runner-up, are Burke and Michelle with 13 and a half points. Meaning our winner was Brian with 15 points. That stayed relatively close the entire way through. I was actually very
pretty good.
surprised. I thought for sure it was going to end up being where Brian was like, this is horse shit. I can't get any ground. Or like it was going to be something where the half points, that's all that was happening. So pretty much you guys would have half the points that Brian did or something. I was really scared, but that actually turned out a lot more even than I thought, regardless of what you guys actually thought of the entire quiz. But it turned out more even. So
It was
I was
fun.
happy. The math I did was decent enough.
Hey, as long as the math ended with me winning, I'm all right with your math. No, that's pretty good. Honestly, I did not expect that twist on the standard quiz because we've never done that before. And I mean, had it been all individual, do you think that it would have been this close or been this close? I'm asking Burke and Michelle. Do you guys feel like you guys would have been able to
No,
do this one?
I would have not been that high.
No.
No, not at all. Because you would have been going last.
I literally don't know enough about any of this to even probably get that close.
Gotcha. Yeah, I say it was just one of those things when he started off with those other first questions. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get my ass kicked because it was like all this like in the original. I'm like, I didn't go back that far. Oh man, I guess I didn't study the origin story.
All right. They didn't give it to you in movie form individually. Couldn't do it.
That's right. That's right. I need to just ladle out these big old heaping spoonfuls of like, here it is, spoon feed. Oh man.
Here's to
that's
hoping
terrible.
the Dodgers get dunked on.
Here's a ground ball right side, could do it. The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Laugh, bitches.